Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our revered speaker for today, His Grace Ishwara Prabhu. And all glories to the Samad Vaishnavi devotees. We thank you all as always. Today is Tuesday, the 4th day of August, 2026. And we are privileged. We have one of our own, our big brother, His Grace Ishwara Prabhu, who will be speaking to us. I should say speaking with us from the Nectarian Srimad Bhagavatam. We encourage the devotees to be attentive as we expected to be when we are before Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhuji, I believe we have 2 verses to cover today. We may put the verses on the screen and you take it over. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Narayana Namaskritya Narayana Devam Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nastapaye Swabhadresu Nitam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Nastiki Vede Ramane Chaiva Purane Bharate Tata Ado Vadya Samade Chahari Sabhacha Giyate Mukam Kartipachalam Pangulang Karite Grihi Yakripatam Bande Sri Guru Dintarine Paramananda Madhava Dharma Purjita Kadavota Paramoni Masam Satan Vedam Vastavan Natabhastam Shivadan Tapataya Maulana Shima Bhagavate Mahamani Kitanki Vaipara Ishvara Sadhya Uridiya Puridi Chakati Pita KRSNA Negama Kapata Lugalitam Phalam Sukamukan Pravasam Jatam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Mahura Urasika Bhavika Yashava Yashramana Yanin Krishna Paramapurushe Bhakti Utapade Sansukamua Baha Atoyam Brahmasutranam Bharatata Vilinaya Gayati Basavruposho Vidata Paribimita Sabaviditi Asanam Saram Saram Paribimita Sabavidatam Saram Hisi Bhagavatam Mishite Tarasamita Syati Tashana Yatya Sharati Kuchi Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Semate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurabani Pracharine Nivise Sunyabadi Prashachari Satarine Vanchakapaturubhyascha Kripasunjibhe Vacha Patitana Pavanabhebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I thank everyone for being here this evening. I mean, evening my time. I know it's your morning over there in America, or if you're in Africa, that'll be your afternoon. I doubt there's anybody in Asia. But if there is, then if this is your evening, then you're welcome. And I'm speaking from Vrindavan. See Vrindavan down. In the past 3 weeks or so, I've been traveling, mostly in South India. I was traveling for about for more than 2 weeks I was traveling. So I came back to Vrindavan about a week ago. It was nice preaching experience. Got a lot of sharing So after the Rathiatra, yeah, this is the preaching after the Rathiatra. So now we are very, very happy to be speaking on the third canto Bhagavatam, chapter 21. The chapter title is the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. Actually, it's more of matrimony narrating how Kadama Muni was given an order by Lord Brahma to procreate. Because Lord Brahma was, Kadama Muni was one of Lord Brahma's sons. Lord Brahma had 9 sons. And of course, he has many, many. But he had 9 sons primarily to populate the universe. So you have Kadama Muni, you have Daksha, you have some other ones. But Kadama Muni is one of them. So Kadama Muni, he was told that the first person in this universe, the first couple who was supposed to be the ruler of the earth, Swayambhuv Manu and his wife Satarupa. So they will give their daughter to Kadama Muni. They will come and see him, they will give their daughter to Kadama Muni. And then Kadama Muni, in anticipation of receiving this very precious daughter, which was the daughter of Swayambhuv Manu. So in anticipation of this, because the order to create, to populate the universe is a very, very big order. It's a very, very big responsibility. To procreate, it's not just go and have sex and then get women pregnant and then have children. We're talking of responsibility. Irresponsible sex is what we have nowadays, where people just have sex and produce children. That's irresponsible sex. And that's what Arjuna called it a Vana Sankara. Whereby irresponsible, because you have irresponsible sex, then you will have irresponsible progeny. And that's what's happening in, especially in Kali Yuga, whereby nobody is observing any religious principles. According to the Vedic system, when a couple get married and before any intercourse, anything like that, there's supposed to be what we call a Garbhada and Samskara. There are many, many Samskaras which supposed to be performed in the course of a man's life. But the first one is called Garbhada and Samskara. This is a Samskara, it's a ritualistic process which is done before the child enters the womb. So this is called Garbhada Samskara. And when this ritualistic process is done, then there can be a proper child will come into the womb. A proper child will come into the womb, and then you have wonderful progeny. In the absence of that, then you have children that simply give you problems, Anyway, that can be another discussion. But for this particular one, so Kadabamuni, he performed austerity for 10,000 years. Because in order to prepare himself for this marriage in this case with Devawuti, it's been a great sage, because the sage, as they say, the sages, their austerity is their austerity. I mean, their wealth is austerity. The Brahmanas, the sages, they love to perform austerities. So Kadamamuni, he performed austerity for 10,000 years. So 10,000 years, sorry for this noise. So for 10,000 years, so you can just imagine, that's a long time for 10,000 years. So somebody performing austerity for 10,000 years just to have, just in order to get married, have sex and have children. So, but the whole purpose of his meditation, because when you do meditation, when you do austerity, there has to be a focus. The focus must be there. The goal of austerity must be there. So the focus of his meditation is on the Supreme Lord. As they say, Vasudevan Paratapa. Vasudeva Parantapa, that the goal of austerity is to is for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, Vasudeva. So Kadamamuni, his austerity was simply that that yes, he has this desire, which is to get married to this daughter of Swayambhuv Manu. And the only person who can fulfill his desire is the Supreme Lord. Is the Supreme Lord that can fulfill one's desire. So therefore, he directed all this austerity for the appropriation or for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. And then at the maturity of this long austerity, which took 10,000 years, then the Supreme Lord appeared before him. So the Supreme Lord appeared, and when the Lord appeared on the back of Garuda. If I can show you guys this one, let me see. It's a nice picture. So the Lord appeared on the back of, in the sky, on the back of Garuda, and Kadamamuni was saying, that is the perfection of austerity, the perfection of meditation, that you actually get to see the Supreme Lord. Just like we are chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. And chanting the Hare Krishna mantra is supposed to be the topmost yoga process. The topmost meditation, the topmost mantra is this chanting. And there has to be the perfection of this chanting, the perfection, is that one day we will attain the perfectional stage of our chanting, whereby we get to see Krishna face to face. We get to see, because as we are chanting, everything becomes very, very wonderful. Chanting becomes so wonderful. Our heart has become very, very cleansed. Our heart is totally cleansed. No more lust, no more greed, no more heavy, no more material. It's totally cleansed. totally free, everything. And then free, then Lord Krishna will come to us. We'll be so happy to come to us. And then you can see Krishna smiling, standing, threefold bending form, playing his flute. And by that time, you will no longer be a normal person by that time. You basically be like a madman because nothing in this material world, you just want to run. So, yes, Krishna, let me run. And Krishna be calling you, Krishna be calling you, be running, 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 running. And then you be running in the forest of Vrindavan. Just like Birumanga Thakur was a great devotee who had gone to Vrindavan. And he had become blind person. I don't, it's a long story, another story how he became blind, but he had become a blind person. And his whole focus of meditation, he developed a great, intense longing to be with Krishna, intense longing. And because he had this intense greed, intense longing, then Krishna comes. And then, as a blind man walking to Vrindavan, and Krishna came, grabbed his hand, and then Krishna was leading him to Vrindavan. Krishna himself was leading him to Vrindavan. So you can just imagine his personality. I mean, his whole body completely surcharged with. It's like electricity. It's like putting electricity on your body. It's like putting your hand on a 1,000 volts, and your whole body is being jolted. So you can just imagine that. That is kind of a spiritual bliss you will get. Your body becomes surcharged with a spiritual energy, Shakti, that you will no longer be a normal person. So you can just imagine the the bliss of Kadama Muni. You can just imagine, his bliss. And then Kadama Muni, you offer prayer. It's very long, it's very nice, wonderful prayer, which he offered. And as he offered this prayer, then the Lord was very, very satisfied with him. The Lord was satisfied, and then he offered very, 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 very wonderful prayer. We have, in the previous verses, we found out the prayer which Kadama Muni offered in the previous verses. Now, and then the Lord is now speaking to him, because when you offer your prayer, and then the Lord very, very happy with you, and then as a form of benediction, as a form of blessing, then the Lord speak to you. So now, his prayer has been, so today we are in the text 29 and 30, which is the Lord's talking to Kadama Muni. So first I read the text number 29, and then I read text 30 also, and then I will comment on text 30. Yatatma bitaviyam nabada prasavisyati viye tvadirishaya adasyanti anjasat manaha. Yeah, she, te by you, Atma Britam, sowing in her, Viyam, the seed, Nabada, the daughters, Prasavishyati, will bring forth, Vayetwa the year, in the daughters begotten by you, Rishaya, the sages. Adas Yanti will beget Anjasa. In total, Atmana children. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. She will bring forth 9 daughters from the seed sown in her by you, and through the daughters you beget, the sages will duly beget children. So basically, Kadavamuni is Prajapati. He was supposed to populate the universe, but he will have only 9 daughters. Normally, the Prajapatis, they will have thousands and thousands of children, just like Daksha. He has so many thousands and thousands of children. So Kadavamuni will have 9 daughters, and those 9 daughters will be given to various sages. And those sages will now populate, through each of these daughters, they will generate unlimited numbers of children to populate the universe. So which means Kadavamuni will be the grandfather of all these innumerable numbers of children. Then of course, it doesn't mean that Kadavamuni will have only daughters, because the Lord himself is going to come as the son of Kadavamuni, which is the thing. Because the Lord himself wants to come as his children, as his son. Like one devotee, one very great devotee in the past, great devotee. So this devotee, he was very, very highly advanced person, very, very highly advanced, Vaishnava spiritualist. And then he was so this devotee basically, he prayed to the Lord to the Supreme Lord actually gave a command to this devotee to get married, that you must get married. So and this devotee said, okay, if I must get married, then you have to become my son, because I don't want to be entangled in this material world. So if I get married, then you have to become my son. Because actually the Lord himself is very attached to this devotee. But the Lord said, okay, you get married, I will agree to become your son. So that was the condition. So in this case, the Kadavamuni, so we're going to hear how later on in the subsequent verses, we're going to learn how the Lord said that it's going to be the son, his son. It is going to be like Kapiladev. He's going to become the son of the devotee and the Kadavamuni, and who will give instruction in terms of the material nature, the process of material nature, and how to get over the material nature. Sankhya Yoga is going to give this instruction to devotee after Kadavamuni had gone to the forest. And the condition was that Kadavamuni will get married to devotee, we get these children, and then as soon as Kapiladev is born, the Kadavamuni will take sannyas, we go to the forest. That was the condition. Okay, so I read text number 30. So text number 30. Twancha samya no staya nide sama usatamaha mayiti tikita sesa yato mam papasyase purpose, you say. Translation and purport by His divine grace is a Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. With your heart cleansed by properly carrying out my command, resign to me the fruits of all your acts, you will finally attain to me. I hope my voice is clear. Let me look at my voices. Oh, this thing is finished. I hope my voice is clear. I hope you're hearing me nicely. So, I just read the text again. With your heart cleansed by properly carrying out my command, resigning to me the fruits of all your acts, you will finally attain to me. Purport. Here, the words Titi Kita Sesha Kiyata are significant. Tita means a sanctified place where charity is given. People used to go to places of pilgrimage and give munificently in charity. This system is still current. Therefore, the Lord said, in order to sanctify your activities and the results of your actions, you will offer everything to me. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you sacrifice, the result should be given to me only. In another place in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices, all penances, and everything done for the welfare of mankind or society. All activities, therefore, whether for the welfare of family, society, country, or humanity at large, must be performed in Krishna consciousness. That is the instruction given by the Lord to Kadama Muni. Maharaj Yudhishthira, welcome Nada Muni. Wherever you are present, that place becomes sanctified because the Lord himself is always seated in your heart. Similarly, if we act in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the Lord and his representative, then everything is sanctified. This is the indication given to Kadama Muni, who acted on it and therefore received the most excellent wife and child, as will be disclosed in later verses. So there is the in the middle of this verse which we are reading. So in the middle of the verse is it says it says Titi kita sesha. Mahi Titi kita sesha. Titi means the place of pilgrimage, Titi. Whereby the Lord saying that, oh, you, my dear Kadama, by having faithfully and fully carried out my instruction with the purpose of all your actions, thereby consecrating consecrated in me, as if they were a sacred place of pilgrimage, a theater, shall attain me. So, Srila Prabhupada in his purport mentioned that the word theater, means the place of pilgrimage, whereby the sole purpose of going to a place of pilgrimage is to go there for a benediction. Usually, people come to when people go to place of pilgrimage, they're usually very, very serious. They're very, very serious. They perform so many fruitive activities, basically, whereby they give charity, perform so many charitable acts, or they do some austerity, just like here in Vrindavan. Many people come and they perform what we call Dandabat Parikrama. So Dandabat Parikrama is the Dandabat Parikrama, whereby for all of Vrindavan, people actually, bow. They do Dandabat, full obeisances. And they do that all over the town. And this Dandabat Parikrama, to complete, because Vrindavan, the circumambulation of Vrindavan is like 12 kilometers, just like 7 to 8 miles. And people, they do Dandabats around the town. And this plain obeisance, one after like this, you bow down, you get up, and then you bow down, you get up, and then you do that around the town. And this takes, normally it's not that you can't complete in one day. Normally it takes like 5-6 days to complete, because people will bow down like this, and they will take, every day they will do like maybe 5-6 hours to lie down, and then they will stop, and then they will continue where they stop, then they will continue the next day, and usually that take 4 or 5 hours. And of course you have to have the the body to do that. It's not something for people like me, I'm an old man. But usually when people, they have a younger body, they do that. Even just like running Vrindavan now is every day, because Vrindavan is a place of pilgrimage. So people come all the time. So this goes on year round. So when people come, they come for seriousnesses, whereby either they give charity or they perform some particular hardship, like this Dhanapa Parikrama. But however, as the Lord is saying, that the purpose of all these things is whereby is to satisfy me, the Supreme Lord. So, and the Lord said that, yes, you have to sanctify your activities, just like you go to a place of pilgrimage. You sanctify your activities, and the result of those activities or actions should be as an offering unto me, unto the Supreme Lord. So in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord said, Yak karosi, ya josi, yak karosi, ya josi. What's that? Maybe you can get that verse. This is in the chapter 9 of the Bhagavad Gita. Yak karosi, ya josi, that whatever you do should be done as an offering unto me. Mata Pasha Conte, yeah. Can you get that verse? You can read it.
Yes, I'm working on it.
Okay. It's a nice verse that, yes, how we can have a, a concentrated attention on the Supreme Lord. You know, it's in chapter 9. I can't remember the verse. Ya karosi ya chosi, yadnasi. You know,
27.
huh?
27.
Okay,
927.
okay, oh, is it 10?
927.
Okay, yeah, so this is the verse. Ya karosi, yadnasi, ya jiwosi, dadasi, yat pasya konti, yat takrusha madapanam. That yes, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities that you perform, do that. O son of Kunti, you should do it as an offering unto me. So which means this is how a devotee give all the body, mind, and soul unto the Supreme Lord only. Body, mind. In one of his nice songs by Sla Bakri Thakur, he said, Manasa deo gero yokichu mo abilu tu yapade nanda kesur. So he's saying that, oh my dear Krishna, my mind, my everything, my mind, my everything are dedicated unto you. Let me just get you. This is a very beautiful, beautiful song by our great grand spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Mitaku, whereby he said, Manasa deo geo yo kichu mo apiloto wapade nanda kiso sampade vipade jivani marane daye mama gelatuwa upada barani marobira kobi yoicha toara nitya dasa pratituwa dikara jama obi moe icha jadito bhakta griye jani jama homo kita jama gata tuwadas bayi muka brahma jame nahiyas bhakti mukti spriyam bina je bhakta labaite tako sangha narakta janaka janani daita tanai prabhu guru pati tu sabamo bhakati binokoe suno kana radhanata tu amarapo. So this is dedication of a devotee. Mind, body, family, whatever may be mine, I have surrendered at your lotus feet, O youthful son of Nanda. In good fortune or in bad, in life or death, all my difficulties have disappeared, and by choosing those feet of yours as my only shelter, slay me or protect me as you wish, for you are the master of your eternal servant. If it is by your will that I be born again, then may it be in the home of your devotee. May I be born again even as a worm, so long as I may remain your devotee. I have no desire to be born as a Brahma averse to you. I yearn for the company of that devotee who is completely devoid of all desire for worldly enjoyment or liberation. Father, mother, lover, son, Lord, protector, and husband, you are everything to me. Thakur Bhaktivinoda says, oh, Kana, please hear me. Oh, Lord of Radha, you are my life and soul. This is what we call complete dedication. This is Saranagati. Saranagati, the complete dedication, the complete surrender unto the Supreme Lord. This is Saranagati. So, this is what the Krishna said, Yaji Hose, Yajanase, Yatapasyanti Kantoya. All everything, give everything to me. You know. Now, when the Lord is saying that you should dedicate everything to me, you should give everything to me, you cannot hold back, don't hold back on anything. You just give everything, don't hold back of anything. Now, does that mean that the Lord is very, very selfish? That he just wants everything for himself. He wants you to become completely empty. Give everything, your mind, your senses, everything, your house. It doesn't mean just give everything to me. So the Lord becomes selfish, like you are worshiping a selfish God. You're worshiping a selfish. This is what those who are very agnostic, this is what they will say, that, oh, you're worshiping a selfish God. They will say this because they don't know what is there in the kingdom of Bhakti. They don't know what is there. Here, in this story we are on now, whereby the Lord telling Kadama Muni that you have to dedicate everything to me, and as you do that, I will become your son. I'm going to come and become your son. So you can just imagine. Oh, that's a very, very nice, wonderful story which I have. Nice, wonderful story. There's this devotee who is, very wonderful devotees, dedicated devotees. And his devotee, his desire is to render service to Vaishnavas. His desire was to render service to the Vaishnavas. So, because that's his own desire, because he just wants to be a servant of the Vaishnava. But he wants to serve the Vaishnava, but he's looking for a servant to come and assist him so that he can be able to serve the Vaishnavas properly. So he desires to have a servant. So as this devotee desires to have a servant who will assist him to serve the Vaishnavas, so the Supreme Lord was thinking that this devotee of mine, he wants to render service to Vaishnava. That is his whole life, how to serve the Vaishnava. Now he's looking for a servant, but who is that? Who is that most qualified servant that he can have in order to assist him in his service to the Vaishnava? So the Lord said, then the Lord decided that I'm going to become a servant. I've become a servant, and then so that he'll be able to serve the Vaishnava. So one day, as this devotee, he was in his house. So the Lord came as in a disguise. He came as a disguise, and he was wearing very, very wretched clothing, and his body was very, very dirty, as if he has not bathed for many, many days. So he came to the door of this devotee, and then he said, "Oh, I have come, and I want to be your servant." So when this Vaishnava saw this, this person who actually got himself, but he has come as a disguise himself. He said, "Oh, you want to be my servant? But to be my servant is a very, very big requirement. It's not an ordinary thing to be my servant, because I am engaged in serving in Vaishnavas, and this to be my servant it's too much, very, very demanding. So how do you, and look at you, you're very, very dirty and all that stuff. And also you look like you have not eaten for several days." So the Lord in this guy said, "Yes, I know all these things. And well, I'm ready to, I'm a good servant. I'm a perfect servant that you require. And the only thing I need from you is that you have to feed me. You have to feed me nicely. Just feed me nicely. That's all. You must." And my requirement is that I eat, and I eat a lot. I eat a lot also. Like in the morning, I had to eat so much in the morning, so much in the afternoon, so much in the evening. I just want to eat nicely, and as I'm eating, and I want your wife to be able to prepare all the food for me, be able to prepare all the food nicely, and also I have a very, very big appetite. So I have a very, very big appetite, and as I'm eating, your wife should not complain that, "Oh, why this servant is eating so much." So your wife should not complain, and because if your wife, if she should, because she's the one who's going to be preparing food, who's going to be feeding me, so, and she should not complain. And if she complain, then I will leave immediately. Immediately, I will disappear. So the alphabet, you should rest assured that I am the best servant that you've been looking for. So this devotee was very, very happy. He said, "Oh, great. Okay. I'm very okay. You can be my servant. Whatever you need, I will provide for you. Food, eating, there'll be no problem." So just to cut the story short, so this devotee, so this uh, the Lord Krishna as a servant, now he came and then was residing in the house of these devotees. And then he was being fed nicely. And then he was rendering service to so many, many Vaishnavas, so many, many sadhus. They will come every day. They be serving them very, very nicely. And this, all these sadhus who are coming to the house of these devotees, they were so happy because they've never seen such a servant before. Hmm? You make them, we be talking to them nicely. They can feel very, very comfortable. They will have a nice conversation with them. And they are so full of delights, so much delight that is in them that, they be talking and something. It will just be having a very delightful conversation with them. Whatever they need, they want their clothes to be washed, and he will do everything for them, give them the most perfect service. Hmm? And so this is what it was like, in the ocean of bliss, because he had got his most perfect servant. And he simply had to feed him nicely. So, and this goes on for like a period of 1 year. And then one day, his wife, who had been responsible for feeding him, who had been responsible for preparing the food and feeding him. So apparently she has become a kind of getting tired of all this work, because he's doing all this work of food, preparing the food. And this servant of her husband, who she's feeding, is always hungry. His stomach is never enough, So one day she was talking to one of our neighbors, because our neighbors was noticing that she had become kind of skinny, apparently because she had become been overworked, she became kind of skinny. So our neighbor asked her that, "How come you have become like this? You become kind of skinny. What has happened?" And then she told her neighbor that, "Well, My husband have this servant, and this servant is very demanding in terms of the food. Never, I always have to keep preparing the food all the time from morning till evening. I have to keep feeding him and all that, you know. And so this is what's keeping me. But however, but don't tell anyone that I'm telling you this. Then of course, the Supreme Lord, he knows the heart of everyone. He knows, when he knows that, yes, this wife complained to her neighbor, so he immediately disappeared. So when he disappeared, so this devotee became very distraught. His mind became very disturbed that, oh, my servant has disappeared. Or because I believe that because my wife had complained me some complaint. So he became so disturbed that he stopped eating. So he stopped eating because what happened that the whole time the Lord was serving him as a servant. The Lord make sure that that this devotee will not know that he's God, that he's the Lord himself. Because if devotee should know that this is the God that is serving him, then that's going to be like, he's like, how can you allow God, how can you let God to serve you? Because we are supposed to serve God. But in this case, the God is serving. So this devotee, he was like kind of lamenting that, oh, my servant has gone. So he stopped eating because his mind becomes so distraught, his back becomes so disturbed. He will not eat for several days. And then after many, many days of him not eating, so the Lord spoke with him. Actually, he was about to give up his life. And then the Lord spoke with him from the sky. He got what we call Akasvani, the message from above. He said, oh, my dear, his name is Tilokana. He said, my dear Tilokana, you don't have to give up your life. Go back and start eating. And then he revealed himself that I came to serve you. Okay, you are very my dear devotee. So therefore, and because because I left because the condition has been fulfilled. But if you want me to come back, I can come back. Then of course, when the devotee realized that, oh, it's my Lord who have come here to be my servant. So how is this? So just to go back to my point that the Lord is not a selfish God. It's not a selfish Lord that is asking for our service. He's asking for our complete dedication. When we become dedicated to Him, but He also become dedicated to us. In this case, to His devotees. It's because when we're talking of love of God in terms of the kingdom of Bhakti, what is reigning is love that is there between the Lord and the devotees, and that love is a very reciprocal thing. The love is very reciprocal. Just like when you read the story of many of our acharyas, especially the Goswami, you will find so many reciprocation that is there between the Lord and the devotees. So it's just in our neophyte stage that when we read about that, oh, we have to renounce everything, we have to give up everything and become completely dedicated to the Supreme Lord, renouncing everything, 100%, not that we give up, not that we give 90% and then we hold back 10%. No, 100% surrender, 100% renunciation. But when we hear about that, we become afraid. We become fearful. We become fearful that, oh, if I do all this, what's going to, what about this, about that, about this, about that. We become fearful. The fear factor is there. But a real devotee, give up there's no such a thing as a real factor. Just like that song of Patrick Tako, which I just sang. He said, my dear Lord, my mind, my everything, my family, my everything, I surrender everything unto you. And when I give up my body, if it's your desire that I come back to this material world, let it be. And my only desire is that if I have to take another birth, let it be in the house of your devotee. Even if I have to take birth as a worm, let it be in the house of your devotee. This is this devotee's only prayer. And this is what we call surrender. And there's just so much, there is so much power when there's so much power in surrender to the Lord. There's so much there. But we cannot understand this, we cannot realize this as long as we're in the neophyte position, we cannot realize this. So Kadamba Muni, so he's been instructed that yes, everything is concentrated on me, the sanctification of all his actions, whereby everything is repose, everything is repose, in the Lord. So whereby the act of offering the fruit of one's activities to the Supreme Lord, so the action themselves become like a place of pilgrimage, like it become like a theater, whereby all the activities become transcendental, family life, everything. So even because Kadamba Muni is going to become a Griesta, he's going to become a householder, even though previously he was living in the forest, performing so many austerities, living in the forest. And then he's married, he will get married. At first, his wife will be living with him in the forest, and she will follow her husband, what we call Pativrata, whereby she follow the act of her husband. And then Kadamba Muni he will become very, very compassionate on his wife. And then he will transfer himself. He will make her very, very beautiful through his yoga mystic power, whereby he will create a city in the sky, an area city, very big palatial city in the sky, whereby his wife will live in, he and his wife, and then we'll have a massive enjoyment for a long time, massive enjoyment in terms of having a very wonderful, sex life with his wife, or whatever it may be, whatever they're enjoyable. However, he will be doing that, but without losing anything, without he will be doing all these things without becoming degraded. Even though he will be in the midst of massive household enjoyment, but there'll be no degradation, because everything is centered around the Lord. Because there's a mission that it was to be, there's a mission that was supposed to be accomplished. The mission is that many children will be produced. Those children, they will go and then populate the universe. And then eventually, then the Lord himself will come as his son. The Supreme Lord himself will descend as his son. And then when the Supreme Lord descends as his son, then he will feel now that the Lord has come, he has incarnated, and the Lord, he has to fulfill the purpose of his incarnation. So when the Lord has incarnated, so Kadamba will feel that now his mission is fulfilled, his mission is accomplished. And then he will give up that household enjoyment, and then we go to the forest as if nothing has ever happened before. We just go to the forest. And those great personality, when they renounce their soul life, and they go to the forest, it's compared to when you go to the bathroom, to pass in the bathroom, when you go to the toilet, and then you come out, you don't look back. That's the renunciation method, you see. You go to toilet, and then you finish passing, you don't look back to see what's in that toilet, just you forget it. That's how the renunciation of the great personality is done. So this is going to be, as we read the life of Academic Money, especially in the next chapter. So we're going to be reading this. So in terms of the many instances that's like Prabhupada put out in this purport, especially when Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he was telling another money, the verse is Bhava Vida Bhagavatas, Tita Bhuta Soyam Bivo, Titi Kuvanti Titani, Science Tena Gadabrita. Yudhishthira Maharaj was telling another money that, my Lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified. Because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart, you turn all places into places of pilgrimage. So this is the result of Titi, whereby, because it mentioned that the great devotees, they turn place of pilgrimage. They turn, actually, the great devotee, they can make any place onto a place of pilgrimage, onto a holy center. So an individual person who has given all the fruits of all his actions to the Lord, everything you do, you dedicate everything to the Lord. So basically, you transform all your environment into a place of pilgrimage. Which means your environment, your workplace, it doesn't matter. Because you no longer see any actions. You no longer see any activities for your own enjoyment. You don't see any activity for the sake of your own gratification. It doesn't matter, you're working, you're doing anything. But you don't see that, oh, I am doing this so that because I'm going to get paid. And when I get paid on the weekend, it's Friday night, I'm going to go to a party and enjoy myself. You no longer see it that way. Say, oh, I'm getting this, I'm getting this. And whatever I get from this work, I'm utilizing that for the purpose of increasing the mission of the Supreme Lord. I'm using that for the mission of enhancing the Sankirtan movement, for the purpose of bringing people into Krishna consciousness. So therefore, because you are doing that, so that you don't see anything around you, any environment, your house, your workplace, whatever, your family members, your children, you see everything in the eye of Krishna. So therefore, everything becomes like a place of pilgrimage. Because a place of pilgrimage, this is where the Lord resides. Because people come to a place of pilgrimage because they think that they can see the Lord, or they can have closeness to the Lord. So therefore, the Lord's telling Academic Money that, yes, all your actions should be dedicated to me. And with that, it will be comparable to a place of pilgrimage. A place of pilgrimage. So which means the result of action, that's the thing what I mean by. So you can actually make any place you may be in onto a place of pilgrimage by virtue of simply examining all your actions. You examine all your actions, that what I'm doing here, what's the purpose, what's the benefit of all this thing? Is it for me or for Krishna or for Guru? Or maybe, let me put something for myself and something for Krishna, then if you do that, you become entangled. But you say that 100% for Krishna, then it's your place is a place of pilgrimage. This is the analysis here. So the Lord said, "Man prapadiante, you will attain me." So the Lord assures Kadama Muni that accepting any worldly duties will not be a spiritual hindrance, which means you can accept any worldly duty because the consciousness remains anchored. You see, when you anchor anchor in pleasing the Lord, satisfaction of the Lord is seen in everything. I am doing everything, but the goal is how to satisfy Krishna. So the very act that ordinarily bind a soul to the material world will serve as the vehicle for one to go back home, back to Godhead. So which means we can engage in practicing anything. So this is very, very nice verse. Even though it's very, very short, kind of small verse, but and also the purport is also very, very small. But there's a lot of indication that Prabhupada put in the purport. A lot of indication is there in terms of how every activity should be seen as if one is in a place of pilgrimage, and how all the consciousness, how every thought should just be to be absorbed in the Lord, to be absorbed in the Lord. So if I just read towards the end, Srila Prabhupada is saying that if we act in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the Lord and his representative, then everything is sanctified. So this is the indication given to Kadama Muni, who acted on it and therefore received the most excellent wife and child, as will be disclosed, in later verses. So the excellent wife, of course, devotee, was not an honorary woman, devotee, and of course his son, who's going to be the Supreme Lord himself, who will come as the son of Kadama Muni and devotee. So in this way, we have so many narrations in Bhagavatam. And the purpose of all this narration is how we can become Krishna conscious, how we can become God conscious. That's the whole purpose of Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam has no other goal except how we can become God conscious. So there are many narrations there. It doesn't matter. Either narration is about how the universe is being created, or narration is about how demons are being killed. So many things, narrations, but it all brings us to a point of, yes, how we can become Krishna conscious, how we become God conscious. And crossover this ocean of material existence, this samsara, crossover and go to the other side. We are by other side where there is no birth, no old age, no disease, and no death. And where we live a joyful eternal life in the loving service, in the eternal loving service of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. If there's any question or comment, you can please go ahead. I hope I'm able to make some sense in what I've discussed. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Of course, as always, when I knew you were going to be speaking, I knew we were going to get at least 2-3 stories, and we did. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, if anyone has questions, reflections, comments, realizations, you may want to ask or share, please indicate by using the hand emoji or your physical hand, and you'll be asked to unmute to ask your question. Shri Madhuva Prabhu, please you may unmute. Madhuva Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, how glorious, how glorious your lotus feet. How glorious is Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for being there for us today. We're always very glad to have you on board. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
So, Hare Krishna. So we so much appreciate your lecture. And I just want to, I noticed a trend in this particular contest. You know, and the same trend which applies to Karamuni also applies to Lord Brahma. Anytime they have a purpose, they don't just enter into the purpose, but they will go into austerity or meditation. So they do that one first. So I think we should imbibe such a method also. Because ordinarily when we have a purpose, we just say, oh, let me go hustling, start hustling. As if our effort alone, we can achieve success. But in these cases, it was quite different. And then their purpose is unique. You know, the purpose of Lord Brahma is to create creative, the universe. So he went into 1,000 years of meditation until he got the approval and the instruction from the Supreme. So the same also happened to Karamuni. He didn't rush into it, but he first of all went into austerity, performing a devotional service. And the purpose was also single purpose, you know, getting the appropriate wife for the purpose. And since the Supreme Lord knows his intention and he appreciated his method, so Krishna fulfilled his desires. So I think we should imbibe this method also to achieve whatever we want, you know. And then at the other aspect, which you mentioned about renunciation. So chapter 18 itself discussed about renunciation because Arjuna particularly asked Krishna, what is renunciation? So Krishna explains that renunciation is not just that you leave your work, you don't do any activity, you enter forest. No, he said you engage in your work, but your activities must be dedicated unto me. And then this consciousness, like whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever activities you perform, whatever you give away as an offering unto me, the way I understand it is that if I'm a government worker, I shouldn't think I'm working for the government, but I'm working for Krishna. If I'm working for government, I can steal from the government because they are not going to see me all the time. I can steal. But if I'm working for Krishna, I know Krishna is seeing everything, monitoring all my activities. And then it will affect the quality of my work. You know, sometimes if we are given a work, okay, if you give me to do a work now, for instance, and we bargained, and I feel that what you are going to pay me, you know, maybe you cut down the cost. So I will do it grudgingly. After all, what's Prabhu going to pay me now where I'm laboring so hard like this? So I can do a shorty work, I'll give it to you and just have to take it. But if I have the consciousness that this work, I'm doing it for Krishna as a matter of duty, because Krishna said I should work, then I'm sure the quality will be different. What I will output, because I'm doing it without attachment to the results. I'm not attached to how much you are going to pay me, but because it's my prescribed duty, I'm doing it. So I believe it will improve my quality of work, and through the process, one can attain perfection. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. That's my thoughts. I don't know if you make any meaning, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Well, it's a good thought you've made, that for a person who sees Christians in everything, that person will always be enthusiastic in everything that he does. Because you see everything, you see Christian in everything, and you see that every activities, the goal is to give pleasure to Krishna. So therefore, you always remain enthusiastic. So that's as you say, Krishna, the renunciation doesn't mean that okay, we just abandon and go sit down. That's not renunciation. Renunciation means doing all activity, doing everything with the goal of pleasing Krishna, pleasing the Lord. It's simply the renunciation of the enjoy mentality that we have. Not the action, but the result of the action. That's what matters. So normally in this material world, because everyone has got a exploitative mentality, everyone wants to exploit others in the material world. So therefore, no people, they're tired of what they are doing. Because it's all based, as I say, we are living in a world of exploitation. That's what material world means, exploiting others. But spiritually, for a devotee of Krishna, it does not see it that way. It's simply, I mean, when you in the fifth canto, you're going to be reading the story of Jat Bharat. You know, Jat Bharat, he was told to go and guide a field. He was told to go and guide the field, and he simply went to guide the field, even though those they just want to. But he was enthusiastic in guiding the field, but he just guiding it because he's always in samadhi. He's totally in samadhi. So guiding the field is like no need for him. And then when he was told to carry a king, so he carried the king. So carry a king, so he carried the king. You know, and it was very blissful. But and of course, when he was walking, he saw so many ants on the way. So he had to avoid the ants. And then in doing so, the king became annoyed that, oh, he was because he was avoiding the ants, so the palanquin was shaking. He said, what is this? What is this man doing? So the king became annoyed. And then, of course, then Jat Bharat eventually enlightened the king eventually. So devotees, they always enthusiastic what they do because they see Krishna in everything. So therefore, the renunciation. So we simply have to really understand what is actually renunciation. What is it? And so throughout the scriptures, in Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavatams, Puranas, they all tell us what renunciation means. It means the activities, the act whereby the Lord is satisfied. So when devotees, when they see activities as meant to please the Lord, so they remain enthusiastic in what they do. They remain enthusiastic in that. So as we become more and more absorbed in this endeavor, as we become more and more absorbed in this, then the more we will see, the more we see the reality as we become more and more absorbed in this, in this process. You see. So we have to always
Hare
think
Krishna.
about the whole thing.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Prabhuji, thank you. I have a question from the beautiful purport Srila Prabhupada gave.
Okay.
Let me see if I can put it up here. Well, if I may start my question this way, we understand that we are Atma, we are souls, and the Supreme
Yeah.
Lord is Paramatma, is the super soul. And this super soul is in the heart of all living entities. Now, this is the text 30 in the purport. Maharaj Yudhishthira welcomed Narada Muni. And this is Maharaj Yudhishthira, the wisest being, is saying to Narada Muni, wherever you are present, that place becomes sanctified because the Lord himself is always seated in your heart.
Yeah.
This is what Maharaj Yudhishthira is saying to Narada Muni, that wherever he goes, the place becomes sanctified because the Lord is in the heart. What difference does that make? The Lord in the heart of Narada Muni and the Lord in the heart of me. Where Narada goes, it becomes sanctified. Where I go, it does not become sanctified. What makes the difference?
The big difference, the Paramatma is there in the heart of all living entities, Paramatma. But in the heart of the pure devotees, Krishna himself is there. Because, see, there are three features of the absolute truth. You have Paramatma, you have Brahman, and then there's Bhagavan. Three features of the absolute truth is there. So, as Paramatma, he's there in your heart, and he's simply observing, is a witness to all your activities. Of course, now you don't know that he's there. You don't know. But he's there as a witness of all your activities. Now, when you become a pure devotee, and your heart is completely cleansed, totally clean, no more rubbish in the heart, then Krishna himself come and sit there. He come and play there. Not just he actually play. He's not coming to observe anymore, he's just coming playing. Your heart become a place of his pastime, a place of his lila, a place on your heart. So therefore, a pure devotee, because the Supreme Lord is always there in their heart playing, so wherever they become the place of pilgrimage. Because any person who come in contact with the pure devotee become purified. Because the Lord is there personally. So that's a big difference. The Paramatma is only there in your heart. It's only there as a witness of your activities. Just because you are a conditioned soul, so it's simply witnessing your activities. Whereas you, a pure devotee, you are there, you purify, and your heart is very, very pure. And the Lord is simply, then the Lord come and sit in that heart, and then it plays there. Because it's there in your heart, so therefore you become a walking place of pilgrimage. You become a walking place of pilgrimage. Wherever you go, you become a place of pilgrimage. Wherever you go, you become a walking place of pilgrimage. How did we make 26th Avenue a place of pilgrimage? Because La Prabhupada went to sit there. How did it become a place of pilgrimage? Because Prabhupada sit there. That Tompkins Square Park, how did it become a place of pilgrimage? Because Prabhupada went to sit there, you know. And it's not that any conditioned soul is there, the place does not become a place of pilgrimage. But because pure devotees are gone there to sit there, so the place become a place of pilgrimage. So that's the difference, because the Lord is there personally in his Bhagavan aspect. He's playing his flute, and he's, therefore the Krishna come there and relax and sleep. He come and rest there. He come and rest and relax himself. Is, nicely sleeping, resting. Tomare ridoye sada govinda vishram. This is what the Northern said. Tomare ridoye sada govinda vishram. That in your heart, Govinda is resting in your heart. Govinda is resting in your heart. Govinda Koena Mama Vaishna Param. So Govinda said, The Vaishnavas are my own. The Vaishnavas are there. So therefore, that's why I say that if you can commit offense to the Supreme Lord, but if you commit offense to a pure Vaishnava, then there is no savior for you. You know, because the Lord is there in the heart of the Vaishnava personally. So how are you going to commit offense to that Vaishnava? You know, so I'll be talking of pure Vaishnava. And those Vaishnavas are very, very rare, extremely rare. Not very, very rare. Sudulaba, to come across such personality, very, very, very rare.
Well, thank you so much, Babuji. I'm very happy with the answer because, well, it is the truth as you presented it. But I'm extra happy with the answer because one time I had an opportunity to speak Bhagavatam. I spoke like this, and I didn't have, and of course, I still do not have much evidence, but I spoke just like you spoke now, that there is a difference between describing that God is in the heart of the pure devotee and God is in the heart of all living entities, that God in the heart of the pure devotee does not refer to Paramatma, it refers to Bhagavan. And I was challenged and I didn't have much evidence to explain. So I'm happy that I am unleashed. I'm relieved that what I said the other time was not speculative, it was the truth. It's very interesting how the Supreme Lord, like you were saying initially, the Supreme Lord decides to become a son to his own creature, all because out of love. And for him to come and then live in the heart of a particular individual. And this time, not just being there as a witness, but as a friend, talking, playing with such a soul. It's just amazing how kind and how merciful the Lord is. But the problem is, I'm here. Like I said, I mentioned this some time ago because that's what I knew then. And now you're saying it, which confirms and affirms what I said, which is so beautiful. Yet, I do not practice a lifestyle whereby I can attract the Supreme Lord to come and live in my heart. And that is the problem I have, and I believe lots of us as devotees have. We know that if we do this, we do that, if we express our love, if we actually give our heart to Krishna, he will come and live with us. And when the Lord is with us, he's Atmaram. We'll all be happy. That's all we're all looking for, but we don't do it. Now, I don't understand why we don't do it. I mean, I would say myself, I don't understand if you are a doctor, I've come to you. Why is it that I know that if I give myself to Krishna, Krishna will give himself up to me, and I will be the most happiest person. And I want to be happy, yet I don't do it. What is the cause? What is the reason?
Yeah. Of course, the bhakti process, the bhakti letter, it's a gradual process.
Mm.
And the time will come, when we enter the kingdom of bhakti, we simply have to be praying for the mercy of the Lord, the mercy of the devotees, and the mercy of the Guru. We have to be praying for the Kripa. And since we have no control over it, so we don't know when when that must become, because we have no control over it. But we have to apply the endeavor. Endeavor has to be there. And that's why we are instructed again and again how we have to be serious in our sadhana, in terms of our chanting, not committing offenses, all these things. Be serious in process and always be prayerful, because and be enthusiastic in what we'll do. Because the main thing that we have no control of when that is going to come. That is bound to come. It will come. But the timetable is not up to us. The timetable of it is up to the higher authority. So, and you know that yes, it's there. But of course, the time should come in our life whereby we will start regretting all our past actions. Akshepa is a process, is the beginning process of regret. Just like when you read the book of prayers of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, especially, not under Thakur also, like the Song of Prayer is divided into three. That's what we call the beginning process is called Akshepa, whereby it's a process of regret, whereby we're regretting in terms of our actions in this material world, how we have, for so long, we have turned our back to the Lord for so long. We turn our back. We become so many things. Sometimes we are king, sometimes we are servant, we are this, we are that. We be so many things. So we have to enter that stage of regrets. And then we enter the stage of Saranagati, the surrendering process, whereby we surrender everything. It says, oh, my dear Lord, nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to you. Of course, we have to find a competent guru, a Sadguru, who can enable us to do that. And then there is a stage that we call Lalasamayi. Lalasamayi means the hankering. We start hankering. The greed will come. We start hankering, oh, when will that day become? Yeah, when I chant, tears will come to my eyes. You know, the hankering when we come. When will that day come to me? When I will relish Krishna Prasadam, I will no longer see Krishna Prasadam just food to fill my belly. So we have these three stages: Akshepa, regret, Saranagati, surrender, and then Lalasamayi, longing. So this is three stages. Of course, when we say that, when we read that stage, that longing, that is actually the stage when we can actually experience love of God. That's when we can experience love of God. But you know, again, no, there's no time to move over it, because nobody knows what is going on in your heart, nor does anybody will know what's going on. Nor will you know what's going on in anybody's heart. So every devotee is unique. Every devotee is is different, of course. So but again, we should not lose hope. As long as we remain, hope is always there. In Krishna consciousness, there's always hope. So that's something we should have, confidence in. That yes, we should be hopeful. Yeah, hope is there. So what to say?
Yeah, as you were reading, we were talking about how Kaldama Muni meditated for 10,000 years. And
That's
I,
nice.
I was thinking, wow, 10,000 years, and he still had the faith that he had to continue. Here I am. How old am I? And how long have I been in devotional service? And still, I am impatient.
But
So I was
Mother,
thinking, okay, I have to learn from
but
Kadamawini.
Mother Devotee, in a prayer to Lokapil, she was what is that? I was supposed to what is that? That's that famous prayer, whereby she said that anybody who have taken up the process of chanting the holy name, that person must have undergone previously years, many lifetimes of austerities, or going to many places of pilgrimage, and because Krishna consciousness it's not just one lifetime, which means it's something you must have done for many thousands of years in terms of austerity, tapasya, many things, fasting, many things. He must, in order to take up the chanting. So more devotees saying, those who are taken to the process of chanting, we should not just say that they just, no, it's something that's been going on for many lifetimes, like that. So it's not ordinary thing that, Hare Krishna movement just came and some of us became attracted. Whereas when the books have been distributed on the street, not anybody come to pick up. But some do take up and take up because it's something they've been done in their previous lifetimes. And then they become attracted to this path in this life. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
And then many come, there we go. Only a few still remain.
Yeah.
When I joined almost 50 years ago now, 40-something years, 48 years, when I joined, those who joined with me, 90% have gone.
Yeah.
So 90% have gone. But again, just either this life or next life, they will continue.
Yeah.
Like that. So it is like that. And I'm
But
still praying.
if I might,
I'm still
if
praying
I,
myself that I stay, that I get the mercy of great devotees, I get the mercy of great Vaishnavas.
yeah,
That's my prayer.
yeah. Well, yes, it is my prayer too. I think the prayer of every single devotee. But almost every now and then we hear about the dangers of offenses. And um, I'm sure you might have seen on the Hare Krishna WhatsApp page yesterday, and I believe this morning, there were some exchanges about Guru being God, and of course somebody spoke about it. The problem is oftentimes when someone expresses his mind, no matter how respectful he or she tries to express his mind, is considered to be committing an offense. And so in this way, because nobody wants to commit an offense, everybody stays quiet. But meanwhile, certain things that are done are improper. Certain statements that are made are untrue. And out of fear that you commit an offense, everybody stays quiet. Then how are things going to be corrected? Because we know that the bona fide guru is a representative of God. that he is never God.
Yeah.
But it's a problem. At least to me, it's a problem. And I do not know. Of course, I do not want to go to hell. And I am nobody to pray like a Bhaktivinoda note. The beautiful song we sang, Manasa Deho Geho. But if I have to speak the truth and go to hell for it, may it be so. Because I do not see any other way around. I always say that I pray that when I'm speaking about it, I speak about it in a very respectful way and out of love, not because I think I know better than somebody. I don't know anything better than anybody. But if I know something which is being misrepresented and I just have to keep quiet, that is suicidal to me. So that is the problem I see, especially in West Africa. It's called West Africa. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I also saw the statements. It just is my word. So, and of course, whenever we see Mayavad, Mayavad is Mayavadi, this guru being equated as to Brahman. So that's Mayavadi. Of course, Mayavad, something we have to stay away from. And whenever we see anything that is against the scriptures, of course, we have to speak against it. We speak against it, and of course, not being attached to our particular idea, but we have to speak against, anything that is Mayavadi. Otherwise, we become entangled ourselves. Just like one time, I think it was in New York, devotees, they saw one big leader who was acting kind of improperly. This big leader was acting properly, very senior devotee. The devotee didn't say anything. And then when Prabhupada came, and when Prabhupada came to know of it, and then they came to, and Prabhupada asked them that, why didn't you say anything? And the devotee said, because he's a leader and a senior leader, senior devotee. So we could not say anything because, of course, being afraid of offenses. So Prabhupada admonished those devotees. He said, don't you have your intelligence? Don't you have your brain? You should have your intelligence. You should have your brain. If you know something's improper, then you have to speak against it. There's nothing wrong about that. Speaking, again, what is improper is not the same as criticizing. So it's two different things. When someone is doing what is improper, rubbish, speaking Mayavad, then we have to speak against it. Using the authority of the scriptures, we have to speak against it. But if we just keep quiet because we are afraid of being offensive, then we ourselves become complicit in it. We become complicit in ourselves. So if someone is saying that, oh, Guru is a deity, is not different from God. No, that is my Mayavad philosophy, because Prabhupada never said that. The scripture never said that. The study never said that. Guru is always a representative of God. Guru is not that Guru. We say it's Guru as good as God, but it's not God. Guru is a servant of God. There's a supreme personality of Godhead, but there's a supreme person, there's a servitor of God, the servitor person, he knows how to serve God. and then teaching others how to serve accordingly. When you offer something to a guru, he doesn't take it as his own self. Immediately he offers it to his guru offers it to his guru, and then goes like that to the Supreme Lord. At the Supreme Lord, everything stops. We offer everything unto the Lord, not unto the person. But if a guru, somebody think that I'm receiving something from me, then that person, of course, a Mayavadi, then it's a Maya. You know, so it means just a matter of time before the material energy will start playing, we start using, you start dealing with that person. So, you know, we just have to be very, very careful on what we say. You know, especially that devotees are not stupid anymore. Devotees are not dumb anymore. Devotees, ISKCON is 60 years old now. And many devotees who are like, many are 30, 40, 50, 30, 40, 50 or more years. Devotees are not brainless. They know. They understand philosophy. So how can you can't just say nonsense. You think that devotees are not going to, you know, hear what you say. They're not going to analyze what you say. So a person has to be very, very careful in terms of what comes out of your mouth. And that's why you have to strictly base yourself on the scripture. You don't say anything unless you can back it up, unless you can quote the scriptures, you can quote the previous guru, unless you can quote them. Who's ever said that? Did the Prabhupada ever say that? That a guru is the same as God? Prabhupada never said that. Prabhupada said a guru is a transparent via media, transparent, because he knows what God wants and he can communicate accordingly what God wants. And that's why we serve him, because he knows the desire of God. He's not God, but he knows the God's desire. Because he's being a pure person, the Lord can communicate to his heart, and then he can communicate to whoever is listening to him. That's a guru. It's a messenger, you know, it's a messenger of the message of God. That's a guru. You know. So we have to be very, very careful when we see all these things, that we are not Mayavadi. And because of pride, we express these Mayavadic ideas. You know. So we should be, because when in movement, devotees are not stupid. That's something that we have to realize, that if I say something, I know that the other devotee is going to consider, they're going to go, Ishwar does what you say. The scripture does not say that. The scripture does not say that. Then, okay, it's for me, it was okay. Thank you very much. So let me see what the scripture said. So we cannot be ignorant, we cannot be foolish. So we have to see, we have to be Sastra Chakshu, seeing through the eye of the scriptures. Sastra Chakshus, we have to see that. You know. Srimad Prabhu, are you there? Do you agree with me?
Jai Prabhuji, thank you very much. Thank you. I'm just relishing all what is coming out from your lotus mouth.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. I'm still meditating on Sadesh Prabhu's question about not living the way that he would like to, like a pure devotee, to be able to invite Krishna into his heart, something like that. And then the beautiful answer you gave, the 3 steps or the 3 stages. But I was thinking that, like Prabhupada said, yeah, it could take so many times, and it can be also at once. Because all those stages that you described can happen at once. all the stages, yeah, regretting and what is it? The other one, surrendering and longing, can happen at once. It does not have to take so many times, one after the other, isn't it? They can all happen at once. Yeah. So one can immediately have some regret about what he's doing, repentance, and then a surrender at the same time, and start longing. You know. So all this can happen at once. Now, the question will be, so how can it happen? How can we come to that stage where maybe it can happen all at once? I mean, we all want it to happen at once if it's possible. Yeah, we very much desire that we can come to that stage at once. But now, what is stopping us? Yeah, so like in our disciple course for aspiring disciples, so we have the importance, one of the courses is importance of establishing your priorities. And I think it's a very, very important course that we should have right from the beginning. Importance of establishing our priorities, because once you start getting your priorities wrong, then you can always push it, always say, when I have time, when one day I will do it. And when I get older, when I become, we can keep pushing the important thing, because important things are not always urgent. And things that are unimportant are always urgent, unfortunately. These things happen. Things that are not at all important seem to be very urgent. We run after them. And things that are very, very important, just keep silent. I mean, chanting you around, reading books, becoming more wise, and these things, they're not urgent, but they're very, very important. So that is it. If we are able to get our priorities right, then what is important, we will be able to put urgency into it, so that we don't just run after so many things to do every day that we think they're important. I mean, they're urgent. They're urgent. They're also good. They're also important, but they are, So the problem is that we don't get our priorities right from the beginning. Yeah. So this is my contribution on that part. So for every other thing else, I agree with you perfectly, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Govinda, Prabhu, you want to say something? I can see you there.
I think Madhavan Prabhu has his hand up. If Govinda has his hand up, then we'll go to Govinda. Govinda Prabhu, you have something to say, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Jai, Hare Krishna.
Dhanavad pranams, glories to you, glories to Gurudev, glories to Srila Prabhupada, glories to the Sangha devotees.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhu, I agree with you. You give a very nice presentation, and I also agree with Varaha Prabhu contribution that he just gave. Yeah, like you said, Srila Prabhupada said it can happen in 1 minute.
Yeah.
And it can also take 1 billion years. It's all depend on us, that we have been given all the ingredients to develop love of God. And our gurus mercifully has shown us how this could be possible. And they have demonstrated to us. And we've been so lucky to have their association. But the unfortunate thing is that even though we have the association, but we don't pay much attention. If we pay attention properly, then this process becomes very easy for us. But we don't pay attention. I was listening to Srila Prabhupada yesterday, and he was saying that we can invite disease to ourselves immediately, and then immediately start enjoying the results. by eating food, overeating, you merely get indigestion, and that indigestion will merely give you problem. So we are not eating enough of our Krishna consciousness, even though everything is given to us, but we are reluctant. If you are living with a king, you don't care much about that king, but the person still far away, is afraid of the king. So even though we've been given everything, but we don't see the urgency of what we have been given, even though Our gurus, especially Bhakti Maharaj, was always telling us, this is an emergency movement. We are in an emergency state. We are in a boat. We are in a plane. We should be tightening our belts. And he was always in emergency. So what is required, I think, is to have that emergency consciousness. Like you've all said, we have to have emergency consciousness. And that means that we can leave our body anytime. And where are we going? So if the consciousness is that we want to go back to Godhead, then we should grab our, like Kavara Prabhu just said, what do we actually need? Our priority, what is so important for us. If you know our priority, then we pay attention to that and try to make sure that priority is being achieved. And that brings the concentration and focus. And so we have everything. We just have to dive deep into what we have and make it work. We don't have to wait for next and next and next lifetime. It can happen in 1 minute. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Well,
anybody-
Madhava Prabhu, I saw your hand up. Do you still have something to ask or to say?
Yeah.
Please.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Devotees,
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. When Sade Prabhu mentioned that some anomalies that was going on, and if we have to say something, I want to refer to the situation what happened when the Kavas was trying to emulate Draupadi, and the grandfather Bhishma Dev was there. So Krishna wasn't, he chastised him thereafter because he expected him to say something. So I want to believe that whenever we're in a situation where any anomalies was going on, we should always speak out our own opinion. An opinion doesn't really mean criticism. We just say, well, as far as my opinion is concerned, and we can quote scriptures. And I think we can discuss it with anybody, who is a guru, is a master, is everything. But it's very, very important for us in all circumstances, any situation. We must be able, because if you don't voice us our own opinion, then we'll be liable for the reaction of that activities. Krishna is not going to forgive us. You are there, what do you say? You are there, what did you say? So I think it's important. That's my own opinion. That's the way I feel about situations. And anybody speaking out his own opinion, I don't think anybody can crucify him for it. But it's important. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Well, thank you, Madhava Prabhu.
That's what saying that there's because a difference between pointing out anomalies is in respect to our philosophy, our understanding. There's a big difference pointing out anomalies and also being offensive. Being offensive simply means just being critical of someone behavior. But for us, pointing out anomaly, that itself is not it's not offense. Just like we have the case of Damodara, Pandit Damodara. Damodara was one of the associates of Chaitanya Prabhu. Damodara was one of Chaitanya Prabhu's associates. But Damodara will point trying to find something that he feels wrong in the act of Chaitanya Prabhu. For example, when Chaitanya Prabhu, when he was very, very affectionate to one young boy, Mahaprabhu was very, very affectionate to one young boy. And Damodara came there to, my dear Lord, this young boy, he has got a widowed mother, and the widowed mother is very, very attractive. So some people, they will say that, oh, you're being affectionate to this boy because of his young mother who is very, very attractive. So therefore, Damodara became critical of Mahaprabhu because of this. But that criticism was out of love. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that, oh, Mother Damodara, you're able to say this because of your love for me, you know. So it's that kind of thing. It's not an offensive thing. It's out of concern, genuine concern. That, you know. So if there is like people are speaking improperly, you know, or let's say there's improper behavior, you know, when we know that our devotees should not be behaving this way. So out of genuine concern, then we speak up. You know. So there's a difference between speaking up out of genuine concern or just speaking up because of just plain criticism now. Because you have some malice in your heart, so therefore you speak on somebody's wrongdoing. But in terms of the person, improper words or improper behavior, of course, you know, you can speak up. That is there. We have the sample of that in our, you know, it's there in the Purana, it's there in our philosophy, it's there in our movement also. So that has just like devotee, chastised devotees in New York, that why didn't you speak up? When this leader was behaving this way, why didn't you speak up? So Prabhupada was chastising the devotees in New York City because of this. So we have to deal with things in a very mature way. We can't just let devotees just speak nonsense that, you know, Guru and Krishna, they are the same deity, but Guru and the deity is the one. That's my body. That's my word. We shouldn't allow that. It's complete my word.
Prabhuji, see, Krishna works so mysteriously because just a few hours ago, I was listening to one tape of my Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. He was talking about rhetoricism, the rhetoric approach. And he wasn't lashing at the rhetorics. He was lashing at we as ISKCON members. And the only difference between what he said and what Ishara Prabhu you said here is maybe just the terms. But the idea of what Gurudev was saying has been repeated. I didn't want to listen to it because I felt I wasn't going to have time to listen to it. And I always feel it's offensive if my guru is speaking and I'm not paying good attention to it. So I didn't want to listen to it because I was listening to it at work, quiet. But somehow I got a little bit of free time and I was able to listen to the lecture. And he was speaking, just like you repeated here, that even while Srila Prabhupada was physically here with us, and even when he left, there were many people who were making themselves the next Prabhupada. Some were gurus, some were temple presidents, some were GBCs, some were temple commanders, but we are not there, you know, and we don't live what Srila Prabhupada has given us. So why wouldn't we attract criticism? So that's what I say. It's a sometimes I feel like I'm carrying some heavy load because I know what I'm trying to represent, and it's not so easy to represent, even though it is simple. But I'm not simple, so it's complicated. But what I'm seeing is that Krishna oftentimes helps those who want to be helped. Because I was a bit concerned about something and I listened to that recording and I have been given a top up of what I listened to in the class today. And even some of the contributions from other devotees are all adding to what I listened to. So I'm saying to Guru and Krishna for giving me the opportunity to hear several times what I need to do not to become this, what I need to do to become that. So I say thank you so much, Ishwara Prabhu, because if you have the time, you listen to that tape and you realize how much you spoke, what Bhaktivedanta Maharaj spoke in about 30 years ago. Oh, I say, yeah, it was around 96 when he gave that lecture in Alachua, Florida. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Boom. I think we've been here for over 2 hours, and it's late your time. I'm thankful to Guru and Krishna that your voice cleared up while you were speaking. When you started, your voice was not clear enough because of your travels to several places for Krishna programs. But eventually, it got cleared up, and we're very thankful. If you have something maybe to say to end the class, you may do that, Shri Shara Prabhu.
Well, I'm just thankful that I'm able to speak again this month. So hopefully in the future we have more better opportunity. And my request is try to invite Srimad Vara Prabhu to speak.
Who?
Srimad Vara Prabhu. You should invite him to speak.
Oh, well, we will discuss that later on.
That's my open request.
Okay.
Yeah.
We hear you. Hare Krishna Africa hears you, Shara Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Let's have it serious and do more book reading, more Vaishnava Association, Sadhu Sangha.
Yeah.
I'm actually working on a book now that is all about Vaishnavas, talking about the life and glories of the Vaishnav, the glories of Vaishnava Sadhu Sangha. Very, very wonderful narrations. Big book, very big book. It's a multi-volume book. And also I could wish that some of you could go on my website and try to get some of my books. I have many, many books on my website, touchstonemedia.com. We have a lot of wonderful books there that can assist the devotees. So I wish you could go on the website and try to get some of them. You can get the ebook. Ebook, it's easily gotten. Not the physical book, which can be more costly, but the ebook is there. Okay.
You know, I came in touch with Touchstone Media, and I didn't realize that you are behind that
Yes,
until later, really, really later. And I said, oh, so this is my Ishwara Prabhu's. Yeah, there are lots of wonderful, wonderful books on that website. And some are on Amazon also. Yeah, Amazon.
we have some books on the Amazon here.
Yes.
The Amazon.
Yeah.
Many books on the Amazon. You can get them there. You can get the Kindle also on the Amazon. The titles.
I think I have a couple or so of your books in my bookshelf. I think so, yes.
Okay.
I think I have one on Nityananda.
Okay, that's a wonderful book.
Yeah. Yeah, Lord
And
Nityananda.
I'm just completing a book on Lord Shingadev now. Just finishing Lord Shingadev. Very wonderful book. The names, pastimes, many devotees of Lord Shingadev. So just that book should be out within the next month or so. Very wonderful.
Wow.
About Lord Shingadev. How Lord Shingadev protects his devotees. Everything is there.
Beautiful, Jai.
It'd be great.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for your devotional service. Dear devotees, we're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute yourselves, and we all, with one heart, one love, chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our deepest gratitude and appreciation to our beloved senior God brother, His Grace Ishara Prabhu, for sharing his love and wisdom with us all. Please email unmute Jai. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Vancha
Vajaka Pataruvyascha,
Kalpataruvyascha,
Kripa Sindhya Hivacha,
Patitanam
Pavanabhyo, Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai,
All glories to His Grace, Ishwara Prabhu Ki Jai.
Jai,
All
Jai,
glories to Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai,
All glories to Assembled Vaishnava Devotees Ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare